Good morning and welcome back to the Bartley Broadcast, my personal show where I talk about movies, TV, comics, books, anything that's going on in my world, what I've been watching, reading, listening to, anything like that. I am your host, of course, Jacob Bartley, and you might have noticed if you are a regular listener, not that there are much, but that I missed last week, and I do apologize for that. You know, things do catch up with us. We all get busy. So I needed to take a week break, but we're right back to it with the Bartley Broadcast coming to you every Friday. So let's jump into it. Today we have some interesting stuff to talk about, some movie news topics, some trailers, a comic. I'm going to give you my final thoughts on Princess of Alderaan, the Leia Star Wars novel book, and then my editorial segment is going to be about the Power Rangers franchise, and if they do continue with it, what that could possibly be. So let's go ahead and jump right to the beginning of the show where I talk about what I've been watching lately. Not a lot of new releases I've been watching lately. Like I said, I've been busy. I'm going to watch The Foreigner in a few hours here, but I did watch American Made since the last time I did a Bartley Broadcast, the Tom Cruise film. I really enjoyed it overall. It's a really good film, very solid, and I do recommend it. You won't be disappointed if you go watch it in theaters. It could have been better, but overall, like I said, really enjoyable film, really good. Go check out my spoilers review. It will be up on the channel soon if you want to hear my specific thoughts on that movie. So let's jump right into the entertainment news segment. And first up, we got something relatively new. So the Gambit movie is back on track, and it now has an official release date of February 14th, 2019. And Gore Verbinski is being confirmed to direct. He directed The Cure for Wellness. I think, was that earlier this year or was that last year? Either way, he directed that film, and Channing Tatum will star in this. I think this is great news, but they're gonna have to do a few things here. They're gonna have to keep the budget low. Before they were gonna do like $150 million budget. No. Gambit, even if it's great, it's not gonna make that much money. Let's say Gambit is great. Like, people love it. I don't think it's ever going to get the hype that Deadpool got. But let's just say, you know, it's almost to the level of, like, Deadpool quality, right? Like, any movie could be the greatest movie of all time. But I'm just saying. Let's just say that. I don't think it makes $800+ million like Deadpool did. It's going to make, like, $400 million. $450 if it's great. So at that, I say give Gambit a $40 million budget. Give Gambit a $60 million budget at the most. And then you're going to spend money on marketing and give the theaters their share. So keep the budget low. You don't have to spend a lot of money on a Gambit film. Channing Tatum's paycheck's probably going to be the most expensive thing. And I love Channing Tatum for Gambit. Like, first of all, he's very passionate about the character. I believe he's from New Orleans, which the Gambit character is from. And Channing Tatum has improved significantly as an actor. Have you seen Logan Lucky? He's amazing in that. Have you seen Foxcatcher? He's amazing in that. He's amazing in the 22 Jump Street franchise. So this all is great, except maybe the director. Gore Verbinski, look, I liked The Cure for Wellness a little bit, but it was very disappointing. I thought that movie was going to be great. With Dane DeHaan, the premise, the concept, what the movie looked like, I thought that movie was going to be great. And it was very disappointing, but it was okay. I liked it to a certain extent, but that's the only thing I'm apprehensive about. But like I said, keep the budget low, and I think this movie could be a hit, especially with what Fox has been doing lately. Deadpool, hard R comedy, straight up comedy, like very different. Logan, drama, western, very different. And I'm going to talk about the New Mutants trailer next. Have you seen that? It's a straight up horror movie, very different. So what is Gambit going to be? I think it's going to be something different. So I think Fox is doing great things for the comic book genre, honestly, like amazing things. Like I said, I was going to talk about the first New Mutants trailer. It dropped this morning. I've been looking forward to this, even though I don't know anything about the mythology of the New Mutants. I don't know anything about the characters like Wolfsbane and Magic. I don't know anything about them. And Cannonball. But it's X-Men. It's the X franchise. I was very excited about it. I think Josh Boone is the director, and from what I've heard, he's a very good director, and he's good with working with younger talent. And Macy Williams, Anya Taylor-Joy, the kid from Stranger Things, like, it had a great mixture of it, and you knew the budget wasn't going to be too high. And they said this was going to be a straight up horror film, and they were not lying. This is a straight up horror movie. Watch the trailer. If you didn't know, if they didn't say the word mutant in the trailer and the movie wasn't named New Mutants, you would not know that it's an X-Men movie. So I loved it, honestly, from that point. Like, I'm so excited for trying new things in the comic book genre. Like, for the most part, in the MCU, they can't make a horror Captain America movie. Obviously not. But, I mean, I guess they could do a horror Ghost Rider movie or whatever. But I'm just saying it's difficult for the MCU to steer away from that Avengers tone, that Iron Man tone, that Captain America tone. They all have their own little flavors, but for the most part, like, you know, it's in that world. I like how the X universe it's like they all feel so different, but yet I'm assuming they all exist in the same reality. So this is awesome. I think this trailer is great, honestly. I can't wait for the movie to come out. I think it comes out early next year. We got a couple more trailers to get to, and this might be old news for you guys, but I just want to talk about them for a little bit. Now let's start with that new Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer that dropped on Monday Night Football earlier this week. It's no secret, Star Wars is my world. It means so much to me. Let me just tell you, like, look, I love the trailer, first of all. I'll get to some specifics, but I was like, yesterday I was at work and I was listening to like a podcast or a movie show online of other people talking about the trailer. And you know, when something just hits you and it's like, it just hit me like, oh my God, like, this trailer is incredible. And when this movie, I can't believe I get to watch this movie in a few months, basically. Like, I'm so grateful I get to watch this movie in a couple months. And it just, I was getting a little emotional thinking like, it's too good to be true. Like, what this, and this trailer just brought that to my attention. This trailer looks incredible. Now look, the movie could be disappointing. It could not be as good as I think it's going to be, but I don't think that's going to be the case. You have Rian Johnson directing. You have Lucasfilm, you know, leading the charge. I think this movie is going to be incredible. I think it's going to be one of the best Star Wars movies ever made. That's my prediction, and it's not hard to make that prediction. I'm sure a lot of people are predicting that. But I love the trailer because you got to see a little bit more story. You got to see Luke, what his mind state is. But I am a little upset that I know that they're misleading us. They're misdirecting us. I don't think that Rey is seriously telling Kylo that she needs someone to lead her in this, like, show her purpose or whatever. That, no way. I would like that to be true, honestly. How intriguing would that be, and how unpredictable would that be? If you have, what if Luke is like, no, I can't do this again. I can't train somebody again. And Rey's like, okay, fine, I'm gone. And what if Kylo is like, Snoke's just trying to use me, F this guy, and goes on his own. And Rey and Kylo link up, and they decide to take on the universe together. I don't know whether they'd be bad or good. Probably a mixture of the two. But that would be very intriguing and very unpredictable and very risky by Lucasfilm. I think that would be amazing. But no way. There's no way they're having that happen. There's no way Rey is going to Kylo and they team up together. No way. I'll be shocked if that happens. I want it to happen. That would be great. I mean, shoot. But I think it's going to go the way we think it is. Luke and Rey are going to take on the First Order and Snoke and Kylo. And that's a little misdirect. If you look at the backgrounds in that scene where Rey is saying that and then Kylo reaches out his hand, it looks like Rey's in a cave, which means she would be talking to Luke. And it looks like Kylo's outside, like, and there's like battle debris behind him. So I think it's it's very misleading. Also, I think they're misleading us with the Kylo shooting down Princess Leia. I think that's a mislead as well. I mean, who knows? There's no way they're having Kylo kill his dad and then his mom in movies back to back. Also, killing Han Solo and Princess Leia in movies back to back. There's no way. So it sounds like I didn't like the trailer, but I did. It's a little upsetting that they're doing so much misleading, in my opinion. Maybe they're not misleading. Who knows? But overall, amazing trailer. Like, I watched it the first time during the halftime show of Monday Night Football. But then I had to like run to my room and watch it by myself, and I got a little teary-eyed. Like, I love this trailer so much. Seeing Luke talk and how terrified he looks, amazing. Anyways, moving on to my last trailer, or my last movie trailer, I should say. I have a TV trailer to talk about in a little bit, but my last movie trailer of today, and that is the Justice League trailer. The one, I think it dropped on this past Sunday, most previous Sunday, and this is a really good trailer. I really liked it. I thought the action looks amazing. We talked about it on Comic Hero Talk. It's old news, living in this world where movie news moves so fast. But just my brief thoughts. Really like the trailer. Cannot wait for Justice League. Obviously, it's my second. Oh man, Thor Ragnarok and Justice League. They're like tied for my second most anticipated movie for the rest of the year. But of course, The Last Jedi is first. But we are so spoiled as movie fans. Thor Ragnarok, Justice League, Last Jedi. Wow, like we're so spoiled. But yeah, I think the action looks great in Justice League trailer. That's what really stood out to me. I love when in superhero team-up movies when the superheroes are using combos and using their powers together to fight aliens or fight the enemy or fight armies, whatever the case may be. I love when they do that. So that's what stood out to me in this trailer. I think the action's going to be great. I think it's going to be awesome seeing all these characters for the first time on screen together. And I think the tone, the comedy, and everything's going to be very well balanced with Joss Whedon coming in. So yes, I do think this trailer was really good. Not the best Justice League trailer they put out so far, but it's a really good trailer. All right, moving on to a little news story here. So apparently, according to Mark Ruffalo, Thor Ragnarok is going to kick off a 3-part story arc for Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Now, he was talking with Cinema Blend, and this is what Ruffalo had to say about him and Kevin Feige and what they have planned for the Hulk going forward. This is Ruffalo's. So basically, Kevin pulled me aside before this and said, if we're going to do a standalone Hulk movie, what would it be? And I said, I think it should be this, and this, and this. And it ends up like this. And he's like, I love that. Why don't we do that in the next 3 movies, starting with Thor 3, and then we go into Avengers 3 and 4. And I was like, that sounds great. And so we are at the beginning of this arc. So that, I think this is really cool. It's a little spoilery, like maybe Hulk dies at the end of Thor Ragnarok, but no one ever thought that was going to be the case. But still, now we know they plan for Hulk to live through Thor Ragnarok, Avengers 3 and 4. We'll see what happens after that. I think this is great because, look, Universal owns the distributing rights for a solo Hulk film. So Disney doesn't want to make a solo Hulk film having to work with where Universal is going to get all the, like, a lot of money from that. So I understand why they're not making a solo Hulk film. And it's been done multiple times and it hasn't been very successful. Like, what can you do with 2 hours with the Hulk? He serves being a side character so much better. We're hearing about Thor Ragnarok getting great reviews and the Hulk is being praised in this movie. And he was great in the first Avengers. He was great in Age of Ultron. Like, he's great as a side character. So this is amazing. And Mark Ruffalo also went on to say that we see the Hulk speaking in one of the Thor Ragnarok trailers. And he went on to say that the speaking part of it all plays into this and is a big part of it. He said, Hulk speaking is the start to separating of these two individuals. These identities in this split identity person and where that's going to end up going. So it was really fun to me. He's like a baby. He's like a 5-year-old or 6-year-old. So he has the same syntax. He has the same worldview, and so it was fun. It's like Chris, we all got to reinvent our characters in this. So I think that's awesome because if you've watched like the animated TV shows, or you read the comics, like when he transforms into the Hulk, it's like the Hulk has his own personality. That's why he says puny Banner, like because the Hulk knows who Banner is. Like the Hulk is a separate identity from Bruce Banner. So this makes a lot of sense, and it's cool that they're finally doing that. They're finally having the Hulk speak. He spoke in the first Avengers, don't get me wrong, but like barely, like 1 or 2 words, 1 sentence, whatever. And I think this is a great thing. I think it's great that we're going to get the Hulk little stories spread out, and he's also going to be speaking. I think that's awesome. All right, moving on to my last entertainment topic of the day. So the final Stranger Things trailer dropped this morning, and man, it sounds like I love everything that I'm talking about today. But hey, it's true. I'm not going to lie about it. The new Stranger Things trailer is out. The final one, supposedly. I mean, it comes out in 2 weeks, so it makes sense. I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. I'm not like die hard, like it's not my favorite TV show in the past 5 years, like a lot of people say it is. But I really like season 1. The season 2 trailer looks amazing. Like, what the hell's going on? It's not a spoiler. We know Eleven's back, and that's amazing because it's like, how are you gonna kill off that character? She was such a big part of the success of season 1, so we know she's back. So I did like the trailer a lot. One thing, Doc Ray Montgomery, the guy who plays the Red Ranger in the new Power Rangers movie, he's in the season, and he had like one little 5-second shot in the trailer, but that's just me because I'm a fan of him now, so that's just me hoping his character has a bigger role. But nobody really knows who he is, and also no one knows, it's a new character, so if you see him in the trailer, no one's going to be like, oh look, only people like me who know who he is. So overall, can't wait for Stranger Things 2. I think it looks awesome. Alright, moving on to the book segment of the show where I talk about books and comic books. Now, for the past month or so, I've been audiobooking Leia, Princess of Alderaan, the Star Wars book by Claudia Gray. Just to give my final thoughts on it, amazing book. Claudia Gray knocks it out of the park again. She is 3 for 3. It is not in my top 3 Star Wars audio canon books like I thought it was going to be when I first started the book, because I love Claudia Gray, I love Princess Leia, and the way they set this book up is amazing. I think it's a great book. But there were so many young adult elements in the book, like her interacting with other kids and stuff like that, to where like I was like, okay, this is not the stuff I care about in this book. Like, it's funny, it's cool, it gives context to the Princess Leia character and shows just what she was like as a teenager, and that was cool. But I cared more about the beginnings of the rebellion, the Leia, her relationship with her father, with Bail Organa, and how they reluctantly brought Leia into being part of the rebellion because they don't want their daughter, their 16-year-old daughter, to be a part of this. Like, I loved it, and I definitely recommend it. I think it is a must read or must listen to because how much it shows the spark of the rebellion. So definitely check that out. So today, for comic books, I only have one comic book to talk about today. Like I said, I've been busy, and that is the finale of the Justice League and Power Rangers crossover. I literally just read issue 6 this morning. So issue number 6, the final one for now. Hint, hint. I loved it. And look, it's not the best 6-issue story I've ever read. No, nowhere near that. But it's just fun. It's super, super fun seeing the Power Rangers interact with the Justice League, seeing Wonder Woman and Kimberly talk together, seeing Jason and Superman talk together, and seeing them all work together and fight together, and Billy and Cyborg use their intelligence to handle some problems. Like, I loved it. I'm pretty sure the trade will come out sometime in the next month. If you haven't got a chance to check out the single issues, wait for the trade. It should be $10 or $15. It's only 6 issues. And if you're a fan of either the Justice League or the Power Rangers or both, I think you should definitely check this out. It was a little anticlimactic how they finally destroyed Brainiac and Lord Zedd. Like, I was like, okay, that was quick, cheesy, all this to that. But there is a little cliffhanger at the end, so go ahead and check that out. Alright, so moving on to the final part of the show, the editorial segment of the show. Hint, it has to do with Power Rangers. I talked about Power Rangers just recently, and it's in the title of the show. Now, for those of you who may know, before the Power Rangers movie came out this year, which I love, by the way, I don't think it's one of the best movies of the year, but it's one of my favorite movies of the year, in my top 5. I love that movie with all my heart. I thought Dean Israelite did a great, fantastic job with adapting the 90s TV show, bringing it to the modern day. But Saban, Hayam Saban, however you pronounce his name, before the movie came out, he said that they have a 6-movie plan. They plan for 6 films. And a lot of people were like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, focus on the one film first. Maybe have ideas for a sequel, and maybe a little, like, know what you want to do, but don't plan for 6 movies. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, maybe plan for a trilogy, but 6 movies? Like, don't get ahead of yourself. And I agree with that. Like, I understand preparing for the next film and then having ideas for a third, but you don't want to get too ahead of yourself and plan for 6 movies. Especially don't announce it. That just sounds desperate to me. But, however, as a Power Rangers fan, you're like, please give me 6 movies, and that's how I feel. Now, look, we don't even know if we're going to get a sequel to Power Rangers. And honestly, like, I'm not going to talk about it too much. And maybe when it's officially announced, I'll give my final thoughts on it. But it's honestly going to break my heart if this movie franchise doesn't continue. Because if the first movie sucked, then I'd be like, I don't even want a sequel. But the movie was incredible to me, honestly. Like, you may not think so, but I of course I have a little biased, but including like how great I thought the movie was mixed in with my fanboyism, like it's just the perfect mixture, and that's why I love the movie so much. But since the movie was so great in my opinion, now I desperately want them to continue this franchise, especially with what they can do with the second film. But it's really gonna break my heart if they don't continue. Anyways, what I'm gonna do here is, so he said he had a 6-movie plan, right? I'm going to predict what I think or what I want. It's kind of like fan fiction in a way. What I think the 6-movie plan could have been or maybe will be if they do decide to continue with this. Now, I'm taking a lot of mythology from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series, like the first 3 seasons, or the first 2 seasons. Yeah. No, 3 seasons. First 3 seasons. A lot of my mythology is from that. A little bit of the Zeo mythology in there because they included the Zeo mythology in the first movie. So basically that's where it's coming from. So we all know, spoilers for Power Rangers also, for Power Ranger 2017 if you haven't seen it. Alright, you've been warned. The end credit scene teased Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger. So here's what I'm predicting the second movie would have been. So I think the second movie, if they do make it, I think it's going to come out in 2020. They would have to announce it soon. And I don't know what they're going to call it. But, so the first episode where Tommy becomes the Green Ranger, or where Tommy shows up in the series, is called Evil with Green. They're not, that sounds so stupid. They're not going to do that. But, I don't know. I hope it's not called Rise of the Green Ranger. Something like that. But I just wrote Power Rangers, the Green Ranger. Okay, or Return of the Green Ranger. Whatever, who cares? The title's irrelevant. But, so, this is what I think the second movie would have been. So, it opens up with an action scene because with them in the power suits. Because a lot of people complained in the first movie, we didn't get to see them fight in the suits a lot. Not till the end of the movie, which I understand why. Budgetary constraints. Also, they had to earn it in the film. So, that's fine. So, how do you make up for that? Open with a freaking battle scene with them in their suits using their power weapons. Because they also didn't use the power weapons other than Jason in the movie because of budgetary constraints. So it opens with them using their power weapons. Then they go back to school. New student arrives, Tommy Oliver. I'm casting... Oh, I wanted Tom Holland to play Tommy Oliver. But he's going to be doing the Uncharted franchise. He doesn't have time. And also he's Spider-Man. So I want Logan Lerman. He looks about the same age as all of them, right? Logan Lerman to play Tommy Oliver. He shows up to school. He's kind of a bad boy. And Kimberly has a little crush on... Or he hits on Kimberly. She's like flattered, but her and Jason have this little flirtation thing going on. So you kind of... For younger audiences, you kind of create this tiny love triangle. Don't focus on that too much. Anyways, we saw Rita get smacked out to the moon, like towards the moon at the end of the first Power Rangers movie. So basically, and you know, everything in Power Rangers sounds cheesy. So take this all like in the sense where like it's all cheesy and it's fun. Who cares? So basically, Rita ends up on the moon, builds her castle on the moon, and is somehow able to like make it invisible, kind of like the mascara, to where like we can't see it and stuff like that. And she also goes out in the galaxy and brings some help, you know? She gets Scorpina to come in here. So Scorpina is going to be a big part of this movie, if you know who that character is. And also, maybe she brings in Finster and Babu. Now, Finster and Babu, like just to have some of her minions around, kind of a Easter egg to the original series. And then, all right, so she gets the green power coin to Tommy Oliver somehow, and Tommy Oliver, you know, he attacks the Rangers, he reels them in, they fight he fights the Rangers. I want the Green Ranger to feel like the Winter Soldier does in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, to where like we don't know who he is. It's very similar because Winter Soldier was masked and he's evil. You don't know who he is. He's a badass. He's tearing it up, and then eventually the Rangers find out who he is. The Dragon Zord, and the Megazord have to fight, how great would that Dragon Zord look on screen? It would look incredible. So that they have to fight, and then eventually they defeat Tommy. They get him back on their side, and they have to take on Rita and Scorpina together. I think that would be incredible. All right, that's the end of that movie. Now, and then after credit scene of the second film, you have Lord Zedd teased. Lord Zedd. So Lord Zedd finds out Rita's trying to get the Zeo Crystal on Earth, and he's like, all right, I'm going to come in and do this myself. And this leads to movie number 3. So Lord Zedd is the villain. He basically banishes Rita and sends her off to a prison in a different galaxy or whatever, you know? So now Lord Zedd is the villain, and he becomes a huge threat for the Rangers. He wants the Zeo Crystal. He has a past with the Zeo Crystal. If you know what Lord Zedd looks like, his skin looks kind of burned and stuff like that, and so he can have a desperate want for the Zeo Crystal because he tried to get it before and it burned his skin, so he really wants it back. Now Tommy is on the team, and basically what happens is Lord Zedd sends maybe he recreates Goldar somehow, takes the gold from Goldar and turns in Goldar into what he's supposed to look like the monkey ape character that he's supposed to look like, and he sends Goldar after the Rangers, and then the Megazord and the Dragon Zord have to take on Goldar and Lord Zedd, and I want Lord Zedd to actually make himself grow and fight the Megazord, and basically, and this is the biggest threat they ever faced so far, Lord Zedd. So Lord Zedd has a huge, basically his own Megazord, pretty much. It's called Serpentera. So I want him to use that, and it's too much for the Rangers to handle. They get in a huge fight. They barely defeat Lord Zedd, but at a cost, one of the Rangers dies. Now I was trying to decide between Zach or Trini, so I'm just gonna say, let's say Zach dies because I want to bring in a new Ranger in the next movie who's gonna be a girl, and then you're gonna have 3 girls, 3 boys to even out the team. So let's say Zach dies, and then, but also, no, actually, I'm going to have 2 Rangers leave. Zach dies, and then one of the Rangers leaves because they're too devastated. Let's say Trini leaves. Zach dies, Trini leaves because she's like, I can't do this anymore. There's too much at stake. We just lost Zach. We can't do this anymore. And now she leaves, and it's kind of like an Empire Strikes Back ending where you're like, whoa, what do we do now? And now they don't have Rangers for the black and yellow power coins, and the movie just ends, and it's a devastating ending. So the 4th movie, Rita comes back. Rita and Zedd take on the Power Rangers together. You introduce Rita Revolto, who is Rita's brother, and then you introduce Adam and Aisha, who are the new black and yellow Rangers. So you have Adam come on, a new young actor come in, and you have Aisha come in, and for some reason you have to do it smoothly. You can't just say, "Oh, you're the new Power Rangers." They have to be reasons. And I say you don't have them be in Angel Grove. Let's say, Adam is from China and he's like a warrior in China, and then one of the Rangers have to go get him, and then Aisha is lives in Brooklyn or something, and Kimberly has to go recruit her, and they're both worthy of being Power Rangers, and then you kind of you get them in that way, and then maybe you do some new Zords. You introduce the Thunder Zords, and they have to fight Rita and Zedd together along with Rita Revolto. I think that would be awesome. And again, they beat the Rangers. Now they got a new team. It's all good. Oh no, the Rangers beat them. They have a new team. It's all good. All right, so now the 5th movie is the Rangers. Zedd and Rita keep trying to get the Zeo Crystal. They can't. And now this is when the 5th and 6th movie, they're not going to be split into 2, but they're going to be separate films. They're going to be separate films, but basically it's like Infinity War and Infinity War Part 2, Avengers 3 and 4. It's going to be Power Rangers Master Vile Part 1 and Master Vile Part 2. Now Master Vile is Rita and Rito's dad, and he's like the big bad of the galaxy. He's like the emperor, basically, and he's like, all right, you guys are tripping. These 6 teenagers, like, you can't defeat them to get this part of the Zeo Crystal? Like, come on, I got this. So he's fed up with the failures of Rita and Zedd, and he wants to destroy the Power Rangers and take the Zeo Crystal. This is when, in the movie, at the high school or whatever, you introduce Catherine, the girl who eventually becomes the new Pink Ranger, right? So you introduce Catherine, but she's just a kid that they hang out with. She's not a Power Ranger yet. She doesn't become a Power Ranger anytime soon. So basically, in this movie, Master Vile destroys, just obliterates the Rangers, defeats them, gets the Zeo Crystal somehow. And I don't know, they said in the movie that it would tear the Earth apart, but you can't have... Eventually, one of the villains are going to get the Zeo Crystal. So let's just say they get the Zeo Crystal somehow, and it heavily damages... Like, Master Vile is able to, like, lift it out without damaging the Earth. Let's just say that for argument's sake. And in doing so, like, Jason tries to stop him, and also in doing so, he saves the Rangers, but Jason dies. Now, look, I love Dr. Montgomery, and Jason is my favorite Power Ranger, but you got to have some stakes here. You got to switch it up. Eventually, we know the Red Ranger moves on in the original show, so I would have Jason die sacrificing himself, and then eventually, and then you have another open spot on the team, and then going into the 6th movie, Catherine becomes one of the Rangers. I don't know how the colors would mix up, but we would have it to, well, maybe I'll get to that in a little bit. So basically, now the Rangers have no idea what they're gonna do. They're like, what the hell? Jason's gone. Our leader's gone. We know Tommy's gonna become the leader. So they don't know what to do. How are we gonna defeat Master Vile? So basically, now this is getting deep into Power Rangers mythology. This is the beginning of season 3. So the Power Rangers, they seem defeated, and they travel to the planet of Edonai, where Alpha's from, to seek the Masked Rider for help. Now, the Masked Rider is a character that Saban tried to introduce in the Power Rangers show, and then have a spin-off show of. So you basically could have this Masked Rider character, and they go to him, they're like, our planet's destroyed, or is going to be destroyed. He has a history with Master Vile, so he's like, all right, I'm going to come help you guys. So they travel to Edonai, and also on Edonai, they get the white power coin. In the show, Zordon and Alpha create the white Power Ranger, but I would have it like this, to where on Edonai, they get the white power coin, right? And they bring it back. And then the Masked Rider and the Rangers, they finally defeat Master Vile. And before this, Catherine becomes a Power Ranger, right? Tommy gets the white power coin, and then he becomes the White Ranger, and then you shift around the colors a little bit like that, and they finally defeat Master Vile. Boom! There's your 6 film plan for Power Rangers. Man, that's a lot. I put a lot of thought into that. If you're a Power Rangers fan, I bet you enjoyed that, and I hope. Let me know what you would do. Like, would you change it up how I did it? What would you add? What would you take away? How would you plan out the 6-movie film? Let me know in the comment section. All right, well, that's going to wrap up the Bartley broadcast for this week. Thank you all for watching. Again, I'm Jacob Bartley, your host. You can find me on Jacob Bartley _ at Jacob Bartley _ on Twitter. Please subscribe to Apocalypse Movies if you like all things film. Check out our Padawan podcast, our Comic Hero Talk shows. We got a bunch of stuff going on here. And also find us on iTunes. You can find our major shows there and our movie reviews there. Thank you all for watching again. Until next time.